Gen Z is getting older. I know we don't want to admit it, but it's true. It's around that time now when everyone is graduating school. Everyone born in 2006 is now graduating, and there's only 3 to 4 years left of Gen Z graduations before it's Gen Alpha's turn. Oh lord. This year in 2025 had the highest number of graduating high school students in US history, with over 3.9 million students. If you're one of these 3.9 million students, then congratulations, you made it. Welcome to real life. But what's next for you? What's next for everyone else alongside you? What does the future hold? Who knows? So let's take a look at what some of their futures might look like. There's 2 reasons why people pick this option. 1, they like having the benefits of a paid-for college and having a cool experience. Or 2, they really just don't know what to do with their lives. Some people who choose this option just drop out because it's not for everyone. Others that choose to stay with this do get to see the benefits later on. But you have to go through a lot. Rigorous training, making some lifelong friends, maybe a few PTSD moments, and it's a lot of hard work because now if you quit, everyone's gonna know that you are just that guy, that you just couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle all the training and hard work. But even if you make it through all of it, you still have to go through schooling in that system and more training. But hard work is another thing. Another person you might see straight out of high school after this is the grindset guy. This guy saw college and university and just said no. There's only one thing I need right now, and that is a job. You look into factory and warehouse jobs because they tend to be the easiest to get right out of high school because they need more physically capable workers and offer lots of hours. 40 to 50 hour work weeks become the norm. All of this for the sake of getting that bag. Costco is also now your best friend because it's cheaper than actually making your own lunch. Because you are on such a level of penny pinching right now that you make Mr. Krabs look like 6'9", because this is the most money you've probably ever made in your life up until this point. $2,000 to $3,000 a month is crazy, especially fresh out of high school when everyone else is going to be in crazy debt in 4 years. But as time goes on, you realize that this really isn't everything it was made out to be. Yeah, you have a nice stack of cash saved up from all the work you've done, but your social life is basically non-existent now. You pushed everyone away, all for just a little bit more money on the weekends. But was it all worth it? Obviously, you don't want to be stuck in the same job that was meant to be your launch pad into a better one, because as the weeks turn into months and slowly merge into years, the people you once looked at as lazy for working at this company since before you were even born, all of a sudden you fear that you might have the same fate if nothing changes. So now it's just a constant thought in your head. What if I did go to college? What is it like for everyone else in school right now as I slave away working here? Maybe that's what I should have done, because at least then maybe I might have a social circle with people my age. What if I went to college but I don't want a 6-figure debt? Is there an in-between? Is there a middle ground? Why, yes, there is actually. The trade school person gets into different types of fields, learning all different types of skills in trade. This seems to be the trend nowadays, to instead of going to a traditional college, getting a traditional education, a lot more people now are going into trade school, which is perfectly fine. People go where the money is. If college isn't going to give you the regular money, the high-paying job that you want, why would you spend $40,000 a year and be in debt for them for the rest of your life to begin with then? These people see trade school as the way out. You pay less. You go in for less amount of time, and then you get a higher value skill to get a better job, a higher paying job, different types of jobs. This can be stuff like video editing, makeup stuff, and just a whole bunch of other things. But what if you just don't do that at all? You're really driven, you're super ambitious, you're really driven, but you really don't want to work full-time in a job for someone else. You don't want to go to school because that will take up all your time, but you also don't want to end up doing nothing for the rest of your life. So this is more of a rare occurrence, but the person that you just had no idea was just somehow capable of growing a business, but even more surprisingly a beard? This guy literally locked himself in a room and didn't let himself out until he was successful. This is the type of guy you see on TikTok promoting TikTok dropshipping. This is that one dude that just somehow made it. This guy became a millionaire. Or if he's not a millionaire, he's very well off. He's living this life that a lot of people want. What most people aspire to be. TikTok dropshipping, agency owner, digital product product business, physical product business, whatever type of business they started, it has something to do with being online. You don't know how it works or any of that, but what you do know is that they're rich and they have more money than you. And you just need to think about that. You just need to think about this entire thing. And so that's when, you get the people who think about it too much. They want to start, but they just, they can't seem to do so. And that's where you get the gap year. I'm just gonna take a gap year, Bill Gates didn't go to college. He's a multi-millionaire. This millionaire didn't go to college. This billionaire didn't go to college. This billionaire took a gap year in college. So therefore, if I do the same, if I just take time to figure stuff out, then everything will just work out. I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire. They say all these things, they have all these big plans, but their big plans just consist of watching YouTube documentaries all day and playing video games. Roblox, Valorant, Apex, you name it. You ask them to hang out and they say, oh no, I'm busy. When in reality, they're actually just playing video games or doom scrolling. You ask them what are their plans and they can't give you a solid answer because they're still figuring it out. Dude, your gap year has turned into 2 years. What are you still trying to figure out? How to get access to the hub again? They just build this entire schedule around being lazy. They'll spend all their day just planning, thinking, figuring things out. But yet the most they ever do is just thinking about what to do, but then never actually doing anything. Because most of the time it's just that this person is confused. They're scared to start, but they don't realize that this is the time when they have to start. It's now or never. There's never going to be a perfect time for you to start your grand idea. Start before you know how, but that's the thing. A lot of people really want to know how before they even give themselves the chance to try. At least the gap year person pretends to have a plan and know what they're doing. But other people, they just don't have this interest at all. Some of them are just straight up lazy. They have no plan, no nothing, no direction in life at all. They spend till they have a fat number of 0 in their bank account, and not on one specific item, but on anything and everything. They leave themselves with nothing and live like they're going to die tomorrow because they have no social life to speak of and goon to VTubers all day. They don't even pretend to try, and they've just fully given up and accepted their life now. And that being the bum. This person just does nothing all day. All they ever do is just doom scroll TikTok, Instagram, play video games, and just being chronically online in general. They know all the current drama going on right now in the world. They know when someone is getting canceled for the dumbest reason imaginable. You try to have a conversation with this person and they'll just be like, bro thinks we're talking. L plus ratio. Lamau get wrecked. Like, dude, this is not 2016. Get out of here. Why don't you go try and ratio some freaking grass? Their entire day has just now been completely structured around being lazy and doing nothing all day. They order takeout because they probably don't have a car. The money they do have is just being funded entirely by their parents. They live solely off of their parents. They don't even have a job. And even if they do, they're definitely part-time. The only thing they study for and train harder to be better at is how to flick their mouse in the perfect direction so they can look cool to the people on TikTok when they hit a clip in Valorant. They have a secret stash of energy drinks. Maybe they even display it proudly for everyone to see. They constantly send you goth girl videos. Man, I wish, bro. They constantly goon all day to these people. Guys, don't goon. Don't do that. That's dangerous for you. It's so bad for you. To them, this is incredible. This is the life they always wanted to live. I finally don't have to go to school anymore and deal with being forced to sit in class for 7 to 8 hours a day every day. I can finally sit at home and do what my heart desires the most. I can sleep in and just do whatever the heck I want on YouTube, Instagram, or even my bathroom. And on paper, this sounds great. Just having a break every once in a while, because you can't just go all gas, no breaks forever. Eventually, you're gonna burn out and you need a break. But when that break becomes weeks, months, and or years, and you've built an entire schedule around this now, and you forget the whole reason why you took a break in the first place, that's when it becomes a problem. Because now this isn't healing. This isn't gathering inspiration. This isn't figuring things out. This is just pure laziness. This is just you entirely letting yourself drift into this life that you don't want to live, that in theory you wanted to live, but in reality, you're just living COVID again. You're just living through 2020 all over again, but without the pandemic part. But in the end, everyone is different. Everyone excels differently. Everyone has their own different path. What someone else did to succeed in life may not be the same as yours. Some people fall behind but then catch back up later. Some people speed ahead and then crash out and burn. Some people just stay consistent and do the same thing over and over and end up ahead of everyone. Because that's all it is just consistency. If you just keep on doing the same things for a while, just even on autopilot mode, like I'm sure many of you probably didn't care about, the whole process of going through to this point and graduating high school. You just did it day by day because you were forced to, but that's the thing. You were consistent and then eventually you reached your goal of graduating. If you didn't drop out, that is. But what if I told you I know a secret. I know the one secret path to everything, to all of it. All of these options I just talked about, I know one direct path for every single one of them and how all of them can escape and succeed in life forever. Now listen closely. The government doesn't want me to tell you this because this is just, quite frankly, this is just insane information. So the secret is, first step number one, what you need to do.